Starting temperature 29.1 degrees, 29.1. The starting mileage is 13,675, 13675. Well, it's Thursday night, and the temperature was 29 degrees, and I'm like, well, I better do a ride because I missed my opportunity yesterday. Last night when I got home, it dropped below 30, and I debated on whether or not I should go on a ride, and I ended up passing out. I was pretty tired. But I was under the assumption that it would be below freezing when I left this morning. And when I woke up, it ended up being, it was 34 degrees, so obviously that's not going to count as a polar bear run. So anyways, came home, it's cold, below freezing. Thought I better get a ride in. Not sure how long I'll go, or could be a short one, could be a long one. Guess we'll find out. So maybe you guys can tell me what the deal is. So I rode all that summer pretty much as often as I could. And I've had people wave. I've had people not wave. I'm indifferent. If you wave at me, I'll wave back. Sometimes I initiate the wave, but usually it's the last thing on my mind because I'm more focused on the road and people around me. My first intention is to be safe. But I do think it's cool when people wave. I'm sorry, all on motorcycle, of course. But I've actually had two instances where I was going down the road and I've actually had people give me the finger. So my question is, why exactly did you go through the effort of acknowledging my existence on the road? And obviously you realize that I'm probably not a I'm not a cruiser, I'm not a sports bike, I'm a scooter. And then went through the effort of raising your hand and giving me the finger. Now I understand there's some kind of cool thing going on, scooters run cool, cruisers are cool, and I agree, cruisers look pretty nice. My intention is to get one someday, but as of right now, I pretty much just commute, so the whole shifting thing in traffic is not in my agenda. So is it that I'm uncool that I'm on a scooter because I don't shift? I realize on a cruiser you do shift, so that's old school, that's cool. There goes that cool word again. But I have a manual transmission car. It's a 6-speed manual. Most people on the road have automatics, and I like my manual transmission car, but I don't go down the road flipping people off because they have an automatic, or they have a station wagon or a minivan or whatever. It just doesn't even dawn on me. But obviously there's something weird about other motorcycle riders. To me, we're all on two wheels. We're all out here trying to avoid all the other cages that drive like horrible. So I know that, for example, so last summer there was a stripper road. It's Highway 41. I was riding down it. That's actually the road where Big Bill Chicago's Full Moon Restaurant is. But I was going down that, and then I drove home. I would say maybe a third of the people on motorcycles waved at me. There's quite a few motorcycles out. Maybe a third, maybe 40%, but definitely less than half. I went home, and a friend of mine was going to take the rider's test at the DMV. So I went back and I got my wife's Honda Rebel. And I have back down. I'm going down the same road. And I would say everybody except like two people waved at me, and I think the two people were one was on a Goldwing, and another one was on one of those fully dressed Harleys. So I guess Goldwing riders aren't known to wave, so that's all right. And Harley riders, well, I'm a scooter, and that was, I'm sorry. I was on a Rebel, so obviously my engine or the motor is significantly smaller. I don't know, whatever. But basically everybody else waved, so I thought that was pretty cool. But then my question is, how is it on the same day, on the same road, I had significantly more people waving at me when I was riding a motorcycle that was only 250 cc's versus my scooter? Yes, and I realize it's a scooter. That's 650 cc's. I realize that I'm all decked out in plastic or Tupperware, what do you want to call it? But in the end, I'm still on two wheels, and I'm definitely not one. I'm not a like a Honda Elite. I'm not a Honda Elite, which are definitely little scooters. And I know some people get upset when they get the finger or whatever, but for me, I just kind of roll my eyes and get confused. I don't quite understand the thinking. I know there was another time, the main road going through Antioch, they have two bridges. One of the bridges was being worked on, and they had a light, so it was down to one lane. So I was waiting. So at the light, there might have been a couple of cars, and then there were two motorcycle riders side by side, then like 2 or 3 more cars, and then it was me. So obviously the light was green for the people coming from the other way, and a couple cars came through, and then 2 motorcycle riders came through, and these guys were the stereotypical motorcycle wannabes. I don't know what you call them, but like the one guy, all he was wearing was a vest. He had his glasses on, some kind of funky hat, and then he's got like chaps on and stuff. So he looks like a motorcycle rider, except he's got one problem: he's clean shaven. So this tough guy image was obviously something meant specifically for the weekend, because I'm guessing he had a professional job during the week. So I'm Mr. Tough Guy on the weekend. But anyways, came across the bridge, and then he saw the first 2 motorcycle riders ahead of me, and he waved at them. And then he looks forward and he sees me. He looks right at me and he shakes his head, and obviously doesn't wave. And I'm like, what the? At least I got a little scruff coming out of my chin. Come on. But anyways, whatever. To each their own. I ride because I use it to commute back and forth to work, save a little bit of gas money, get a little open freedom, feel the fresh air. Well, right now it's a little cold, so feel the chilly air. And then and I'm riding year round, so everybody else has obviously got their cycles stuffed in the garage, undercover, hooked up to life support. It's funny, sometimes if somebody gives me the finger, I want to say, look, you didn't give me the finger, but where were you last December? Alright, I'm done ranting on that. Back to my ride. Ending mileage 13,784, 13784. Later.